Alright everyone, how's it going? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Today I'm taking a look at a Marvel Legends figure, and this is one I wasn't planning on getting but decided to because I had a little bit of spare cash, someone recommended it, and I'm a sucker for a good looking legend. This is the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary Captain America figure. Now this might seem odd because a couple of years ago we had an 80th anniversary, so what's the crack there? I'll get into that later on. First of all, I picked this figure up from the fine folks over at Kapow Toys. Don't order from them very often, but occasionally they have really great sales, and they are, in my case at least, usually quite good as far as customer services goes. But I do know some people who've had some semi-serious issues with them. Yeah, and they, off the bat, just as a quick, just a quick summation up front, fantastic figure. Recommend getting it, but I'll tell you why after this, because you know what I like to do. I like to go into the background of the character, and well, why the hell not? It's Captain America. Captain America first appeared in Captain America Comics #1, December 20th, 1940. Originally designed by Joe Simon and drawn by Jack Kirby. This was them effectively risking their lives because at the time America wasn't really sure which side of the war they were going to go on to, but this was them basically saying, we're against the Nazis, so we're going to produce a all-American hero who's going to be punching Hitler on the cover of his first issue just to really get our political point across. And as I'm pretty sure most of you know, the origin of the character in comic books, weedy guy Steve Rogers just physically unable to join the army. So instead, they use him as a test subject for a super soldier serum. And amazingly, it works. It turns him into a super soldier. But unfortunately, the doctor who gave him the super soldier serum, God, that's hard to say 7 times quickly, was killed by Hydra spies who were there at the time of the testing. So unfortunately, Steve Rogers was the only one to get super soldier serum because the doctor didn't trust anyone else with the formula. Now, if you've seen the Captain America films, the MCU ones, with Chris Reynolds? Wait, Chris Reynolds? Ryan Reynolds? No, Chris Evans. That's the one. Oh yeah, I'm terrible with names. But if you've seen those films, you probably think, the army don't really use him, they stick him as a USO show attraction. But no, in the comic books, he goes on and he kicks the crap out of Nazis across all of World War II. And the comics sell really well. Now, unfortunately, after the end of the war, superhero comics did start to decline in sales. And unfortunately, so did Captain America. And he survived. Originally, he was published by Timely Comics, and then they were bought out by Atlas Comics. And they continued his comics up until issue 78 in September of 1954. But after that, it was cancelled. Now, eventually, Atlas Comics would become Marvel Comics. And in 1964, in Avengers issue 4, they decided to bring Captain America back as a man out of time. And in the comics, his frozen body is found by the Avengers, and they assume him to be dead, except no, he's not. He's alive, he survived being frozen. And he explains that what happened is he and Bucky Barnes, his teenage sidekick, attempted to destroy a Nazi spy plane / a prototype of a warplane, but unfortunately in doing so the thing exploded, Bucky seemingly died, and Cap was thrown into the waters to freeze for I think 25 years, 26 years at the time, from World War II to the modern age. Now luckily Captain America acclimatises to the modern age and decides to join the Avengers, and yeah, he's on the Avengers for, ever really, he's on it today. But as part of his return, as well as appearing in a few back issues, a few backups and issues, he eventually gets his own comic book. They renamed Tales of Suspense into Captain America from issue 100, and that was in April of 1968. And from then onwards, he's pretty much continued on as a staple of Marvel Comics, all the way to today, where he still has ongoing series and they're still really great. Fighting such villains as his old World War II nemesis, the Red Skull, multiple generations of the Zemo Baron Hood, Baron Blood, a weird vampire, MODOK, Crossbones, and all manner of villains. He's also had allies across the time. Allies have also appeared in his life, such as Sam Wilson, the Falcon, who was originally sort of not a villain as such, but it was part of a Red Skull plot. But eventually he became his partner, much as Bucky was, and they even had the comic book renamed Captain America and the Falcon for a long while. Bucky Barnes eventually turned up actually to be alive. He hadn't died. He was given a formula similar to the Super Soldier Serum and lived on as a brainwashed cyborg assassin, the Winter Soldier. Though luckily Captain America was eventually able to free him from that brainwashing, and he, to this day, is a hero in his own right, continuing the name of the Winter Soldier. And yeah, that was pretty cool. There have been some major storylines over the years, like he died at one point. He was shot after the Civil War event, and following that, both Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes have both taken up the mantle of Captain America. Both actually really great series. If you can track them down, I recommend reading both. They're both really good. Though of course eventually, this being comic books, Steve Rogers would return, though they did make him an old man because his Super Soldier Serum had worn off. But that didn't last very long. They brought him back to full strength, except he was kind of replaced by an evil Hydra version of himself. There were weird years. Ignore that bit. Just all you need to know is Captain America is still going strong in Marvel Comics, and there's more than one Captain America nowadays, because you have Sam Wilson taking the role as well. I really like the two of them work well together, as having two different Captain Americas running around the place. It's really good. I gotta stop saying good. I say good way too much. It's really nice. It's a refreshing take on having the character in the universe. I just like both of them. And of course, as I said earlier, he's been in the Marvel movies, 3 solo films, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War. They're okay. Probably actually no, Winter Soldier's probably one of my favourite ones actually, yeah. And even after, I'm not going to spoil I don't know why I'm worried about spoiling the events of Endgame, for God's sakes, but in case you don't want spoiled on that, basically Steve Rogers isn't Captain America anymore. That led into the Netflix series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which saw the MCU version of Falcon taking over the role of Captain America going forwards. In a really great costume, by the way. I really like that costume. And yeah, that's it really. And as far as my own personal introduction to Captain America goes, as with most Marvel characters I like still, it was in Marvel Superheroes. He was a really great character in that game. I could never really get the hang of using him, and he was always an arsehole to try and beat in the game. But it was interesting at least. In fact, actually, it wasn't that game, but rather a later one, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is I think one of the coolest Marvel games ever made. He was in that, and he was one of my mains in that because he was a lot easier to use. He was a lot more utilitarian. It was just wonderful to use in that game. So yeah, I beat the game a few times with him on that. And if you want the best version, I think, of what Captain America is on the best distillation of Captain America as a character, I recommend watching Earth's Mightiest Heroes, The Avengers, animated cartoon, but the Captain America in that is pretty damn fantastic. And yeah, that's it for the background of the character. Let me just get onto the figure itself, and I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to talk about the packaging of this figure, because the packaging of this figure looks really great. It's just as a display piece, it looks phenomenal. The artwork on it is great. It's just got this retro feel to it, and the reason it's actually got retro feel to it is because this whole wave is in reference to the very first series of Marvel Legends, which came out 20 years ago. And that first wave was Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and Toad, which is weird, but I think Toad was actually a carryover from a previous X-Men figure line. But either way, the Captain America in that wave looked fantastic, came with a backdrop, a flag, and it was just really, really great. And this figure, its packaging, references that. The packaging design itself is based pretty much nearly 100% on that packaging for the original toy. A few things have changed in size and proportions just for the way modern toys are packaged and to fit the actual accessories it comes with inside, but it still looks really great in my opinion. And of course, the original one came with an actual plastic backdrop. You don't get that anymore, but you get a card one which comes with a actual stand you can use. It's really, really good. Stop saying good. The stand has a backdrop which is double-sided. One side is a cover showing Captain America from the comic books. Really well drawn. Not entirely sure who the artist is, but I'm going to say Kirby. I'm pretty sure it's a Kirby cover. And the other side of it is a artistic recreation of the stand that the original figure came with. I actually really like both of them. And the stand works really well as well. You can put Captain America in front of it, and it becomes a really, really nice display piece. I mean, I'd happily have this on the shelf just like this, maybe in a little case or something, but no, it's really effective in the way it comes across. Okay, that's that bit out of the way. The figure itself. This is ostensibly a reuse of most of the 80th anniversary Captain America. I say mostly because some things are different, namely the head, the shield, and some of the accessories, and more importantly, the paint and the colouring of the plastic here are phenomenal. They do look amazing. The blue and the red are so much richer. The colours pop. They're much more comic book accurate. They're just richer. They're wonderful. Not only that, but there's also painted in detailing. Like all the red has darker red paint applications digitally applied in the creases to really give depth, and it's wonderful. Even the chainmail of his upper torso armour has been given a dark blue wash just to really bring out the details, and that head sculpt looks fantastic. And the figure doesn't skimp on articulation either, because it is, as I say, mainly a reuse of that 80th anniversary Captain America body. So it's got, your universal shoulders, double jointed elbows, knees, universal hips, ankles with tilts and swivels, wrists with swivels and rotations, a ball jointed head, an ab crunch, and a waist swivel. Really, really great articulation. Everything you want from a Captain America figure. And speaking of things you want, this figure comes with some decent accessories. As far as hand option goes, it comes with a saluting hand, which I think actually looks really good on him. It's, well, he also uses a karate chop hand, I suppose. He has a pointing finger, maybe to tell you to enlist the US Army, or maybe Hulk Hogan point at your opponents, and it's a silly one. I do actually like it. I don't know why they give him pointed fingers. It's got to be just for that, the Uncle Sam, we want you for the army type pose, or maybe pointing the Avengers on where to go. He comes with a pair of jazz hands, the splayed open kind. I think these are for when you have them in poses, throwing the shield. But having the two of them together, they just look kind of silly, but they're always useful. I'm sure there's other figures that can make use of them as well. Speaking of other figures that can make use of them, if you've got the... Actually, you know what? No, I'll come back to that point. I'll come to his next accessory, which is his shield. Now, in the packaging, his shield comes with a energy effect stuck to it, because this is actually a brand new sculpted shield. Slightly bigger than the older ones, but it's got these 3 ports on it, so you can put on effects that he comes with. He comes with this one in packaging, which is an energy/electrical effect. It looks okay. I can imagine this maybe as a hitting something like a robot, and this is the electricity going up the shield, or maybe deflecting some lightning. It's interesting. The other one he comes with is this slashing style motion, maybe as if someone slashed down his shield with a sword. I thought maybe it was to represent his shield hitting something and rebounding, but it's not on the right place, so it looks to me more like a sword or a slash going down the shield. Probably the better one of all 3 actually is you can put on there's 3 pegs, there's 3 holes on the shield basically where these effects attach to, and it comes with 3 individual bullet ricochets you can put on each one. They're set up so each one will really fit in a particular hole, shall I say. But they look really good, and they look really, really great as ricochet effects. It's actually phenomenal. Well, speaking of phenomenal, the head sculpt on this thing, there's an alternative one where you can have him unmasked and you've got the mask / cowl draped over his back. I think it looks really, really just phenomenal. It's a fantastic sculpt, really well painted. No paint splotches, the paint has been applied brilliantly. It's got loads of character. And actually, speaking of character, there's actually one other Captain America film I didn't mention earlier. Back in 1990, they did a Captain America film on a very poor budget. But the only thing is, when I look at the face of the lead actor, it doesn't half look like the face of this Captain America. In fact, even his costume, even if the costume was really ropey in the film, the head sculpt of the face of this figure with the mask on looks a lot like that one. I just find it kind of funny. But yeah, no, this unmasked head, phenomenally, really well done. And as I was saying earlier, there's cross-play ability with this figure with other ones in your collection. More specifically, if you've got the Villain Wave Dormammu, you can take his hands the same colour as the ones that come with Cap here. So you give him extra hand options, like for instance, gun holding hands if you want, ones with trigger fingers. They fit and it works really well to give Captain America a gun. Oh, not only that, but if you've got like any Captain America shields, they all fit on him. If you want one that doesn't have the effects on permanently or doesn't have holes in it when you take them off, any from your collection will fit on really well. One thing I actually like as well is that Dormammu figure shares hands with the Red Skull figure from the same wave. So you can give Captain America the weird gripping hands and have him holding the cosmic cube that comes with the Red Skull. That's like cross-playability across 3 different figures, but it really works with him. That's something I really like. Okay, yeah, so overall, really like this figure. Let me compare him to some others in my collection. Okay, first up, I shall compare him with, the last one I reviewed, Doctor Strange. Both are the classic comic book appearances, both really pop. Both look fantastic. Here he is with Iron Man, the modular one, the armour from the Marvel Superheroes / Marvel vs. Capcom games. These two look brilliant together. Here he is next to the most articulated legend released so far, the classic retro Spider-Man from the retro Spider-Man wave. Another one actually from Marvel Superheroes, I thought that. Two look great together. I really wish they'd re-released this Spider-Man figure with the vibrant blues and reds of this Captain America. That I think would make it look even better than it does already. Here he is, mainly in frame, with the Incredible Hulk, the 80th anniversary version. Two look great together. I'm on the fence about getting the 20th Marvel Legends 20th anniversary version of the Hulk. It's really the same figure with some extra paint detailing, like 1 or 2 extra accessories, a different head sculpt, actually 2 different head sculpts, which is interesting. But for 40 quid, I'm umming and ahhing about it, I'm not entirely sure. Here he is with some of his fellow Avengers, 2 of the ones that joined not long after he did and were in the team that he led, the recently released retro Scarlet Witch, and the getting quite old now retro Hawkeye. I kind of wish we get an update of this Hawkeye, maybe using some of the parts from this Captain America actually, that wouldn't go amiss. Yeah, they look great together. Here he is with Doctor Doom, just having a despot and Captain America together. Need a good villain to have him next to. The two, yet again, look great together, both very comic book accurate. And most importantly, here he is with his nemesis, the Red Skull. This is the Zenmu Build-A-Figure Wave one, and the two look fantastic together. I'm probably going to have the two against each other on my display if I don't have him on this little stand. Or I'm tempted. I don't know, actually, I'm tempted. They both look so good together. I'm not sure how I'm going to display him. Yeah, that's it, folks. My final thoughts. This is a highly recommended figure. If you can get a copy, get a copy. He's fantastic. He's probably the definitive Captain America figure for Marvel Legends. Only thing I could say is maybe just replace his shield with one you've already got in your collection for poses where you don't want him having the effects applied to it, because having those holes does look a little weird. But if you're just going to display him with the shield on his back or with the effects on, yeah, just go for it. Fantastic figure. High recommendation. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. And if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for more mediocre contest. God damn it, I did it again. More mediocre contents at best. Oh, God, every time. Anyway, folks, that's it. I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!